Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my picks for fall eyeshadow palettes. There are 5 here that I really love that I think are going to make great fall makeup looks. And I know what you guys are thinking. When you think of fall, it's warm tones, it's oranges, it's reds. However, this is not going to be just a bunch of palettes with orange tones because there's more to fall, at least in my opinion, than that. So I'm super excited to get right on into it. There's a couple palettes that are brand new. There's also a couple palettes that are classics, that are staples, that I'm pretty sure a lot of us probably already have in our collection. So there's no need to buy anything new necessarily. So without further ado, let's start off with the top 5 fall eyeshadow palettes. In no particular order, I'm going to start off with the first palette. This is the all-neutral Natasha Denona Biba palette. This is actually a gorgeous palette from Natasha, and this is one that I personally have had some interesting thoughts around this initially. When I got this at first, I was like, maybe this isn't a palette that I could see myself wearing a lot. But then it just really grew on me, and also a lot of you guys really suggested that I play with this more and really discover what it's capable of, and it is so gorgeous. The mattes in here, the shimmers in here, she has a really beautiful cream to powder formula in here. This is like the softest black I have ever seen from any palette ever. Like, it's so beautiful and such a dreamy shade actually. So here's the palette up close. You can see that it has those gorgeous fall tones with those oranges and browns, but it does offer some versatility there. We do have really interesting dark grays and light grays in here. There's a little hint of some sparkle, of course. Not only is this just a beautiful all over neutral palette, but this definitely screams fall to me. These also swatch like a dream, and although swatches don't say the whole story, this is definitely a palette that swatches gorgeously. It's just so smooth, very even. Every shade in here is beautiful, and I find personally that this is actually one of the Natasha Denona palettes that's actually worth every single penny. In my opinion, her formulations can waver a little bit because she does tend to try new things and grab some new inspiration, change up her formula a bit, but this is one that is consistent, it's stunning, it's going to offer those beautiful, deep fall looks that you're after, but also you can keep it light and basically everyday friendly. This is palette number 1, perfect for fall. This next palette is also a classic in my opinion. It's from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is Modern Renaissance. Now, I think what a lot of people think about when they think about Modern Renaissance basically is bridal makeup, and rightfully so. This is a gorgeous palette. It has really beautiful pink tones in here, and although you may not think of pink right away when you think of fall palettes, this has the capability of doing so much more than just orange, which is what I like. So you can see here we have those really deep browns. We have a pop of orange in here, but we have those really nice rich berry colors. I don't know about where you're from, but in Canada, when there's fall, it's not just orange. There's red because we have some really nice reds, greens popping out of the trees there. This is just a gorgeous palette, and I personally think that this offers so much, and the Anastasia Beverly Hills formulation is beautiful. I decided to include this palette because I do think a lot of us already have it, and I don't necessarily think you have to purchase something new, especially with the holidays coming up. This is a time where there's a ton of makeup releases, so fall is a season just before that crazy makeup madness, and if you're saving your money for holiday launches, you can just grab something like this because it offers such beautiful looks that you don't even have to spend any money for something new. The versatility in here is gorgeous. They also swatch beautifully, but I will say a big tip when it comes to working with Anastasia Beverly Hills is that she has a gorgeous formulation, but the fallout is a problem. It's a big, big problem. Not that it's something you can't work around. Of course you can work with it, but my personal opinion is to do your eyes first before you do your foundation, before you do your concealer, before you do bronzer, anything face related or base related, because this will fall all over the face. And I don't necessarily think that loose powder will be enough to brush it away. So just so you guys know, because of how pigmented this is and how much will fall, please do your eyes first. So this is a great palette that I think is perfect for fall. This is the second palette in our countdown. The next palette we're going to be talking about is a classic warm tone palette, perfect for fall in my opinion, offers gorgeous browns, beautiful everyday friendly colors. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. This is also really new to the market the last couple of months or so. This is Patrick Ta's first eyeshadow palette in his collection here, and we do have some gorgeous mattes, some gorgeous shimmers on the top row. These are really, really beautiful. Now, the interesting thing about this palette is he offers two cream shades over here, so you can actually use them as a primer if you would like. You can use them just by themselves if you would like. I personally like the powders a little bit more, just my personal opinion, but I do really think this is a great palette for fall as well. We do have this gorgeous reflective rose gold packaging, which to me is similar to rose gold packaging from Charlotte Tilbury, but he actually has rose gold packaging across his makeup line as well. So it's also one of the things that he is known for. Really, really gorgeous luxury packaging. We do also have some interesting dimension when it comes to the shimmers. Some are more textured and a little heavier. Some of them are more smooth and they don't have as much of a shimmer presence. So this is a gorgeous palette, and I know that it's got a lot of hype already, but I think that hype is warranted. This is perfect for fall. This is the third palette in our countdown. Now this one to me is actually a new find as well. I did review this not that long ago, and this is from a brand new makeup line as well. This is the Vanity Makeup, the Signature palette, and it's funny because I was really surprised by this one. This is one that's basically a gorgeous neutral palette as well. There's lots of staple shades in this palette, and the outer packaging is gorgeous. It's very luxurious, weighty in the hand, has a really beautiful gold rim. You can see that almost looks like gold itself. It's so beautiful. And this is actually 95 American dollars. So when I saw the price point at first, I was like, a new makeup line at that price? Those formulations better be good. However, once I got going with this one, I realized why. So this is a really, really beautiful formulation and very consistent among shades. I have now tried every single shade in here, and similarly to the Patrick Ta, this one has an interesting variation in shimmers as well. We do have more textured ones. We have some that are a little bit smoother, a little creamier, but they do offer still a really gorgeous sparkle punch. We also have a lot of really nice shades on the top row. These are all matte, so you can actually add some depth with the darker shades over here. You can also keep it more light, more everyday friendly. There's really nice browns. There's a gorgeous red. This to me does offer a beautiful everyday friendly palette, perfect for fall. The swatches are absolutely gorgeous as well, but how they perform on the eyes was very, very surprising in a good way. I was really, really excited to try this one out, test it out, and I was blown away. This actually recently made my number 3 palette that I had been testing out the last month or so. I tried quite a few palettes, and this was number 3 out of like, I think 9. So it was a lot of palettes to choose from, and she was really high up in the countdown. This is made in Italy, the formulation of this, and I just think this is such a pleasant surprise, perfect for fall. This is our 4th palette in the countdown. Now this palette is interesting because although it does offer some interesting fall tones, I will say that this is one that is probably the most unfall-like themed palette that you could probably think of. However, it's totally worth taking a look at because it's so gorgeous, so beautiful, and when it comes to the palettes that are hot and trending right now, this is definitely one of them. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Huetopian Dream palette, and although It doesn't scream fall to me, I'll be totally honest. It's a palette I'm going to be wearing in the fall a lot because it's just so pretty. This palette, in my opinion, could very well have been Divine Rose 3, given that it is a complementary palette to Divine Rose. Although this may not be one that screams fall necessarily, the Huetopian Dream is a very magical palette, and it does offer some of those really nice, deep, like berry colors, the deep browns. We do have a pop of gold in here, and there's lots of duochrome shades. Like this one is a really beautiful duochrome. I'm hoping that that can show on camera. Can you see how it just looks like gold now? It's so, so pretty. I also love all of the textures in here, and when you actually combine them on the eye, it's super, super stunning. I actually see this as a perfect transitional palette, so you can start off in fall wearing some of these pinks and these types of shades, and then get really glitzy into the holiday. So this is actually going to be a really beautiful transition palette from fall to winter, and I included this mostly because it's such a gorgeous palette and a new release as of now, so I just discovered it and I'm really happy that I did. So when it comes to the fall season, we do have those warm tones, those reds, those oranges, earthy tones if you will, but I also know that we have anticipation of the holidays coming up, and this palette reminds me of just festivities coming down the pipe. I know that's kind of cheesy, but that's also what fall means to me as well, in a nutshell. I especially love that purple on the end. I think it's stunning. But you can see here that this also has a ton of versatility, and it really could have been Divine Rose 3, honestly, because it's incredibly complementary to the other Divine Rose palettes. If you can wait, this is definitely a palette you can get on sale. She'll most likely put a sale on soon. But if you do have it in your collection, I do see a lot of interesting fall looks with this one, in particular because we have those really nice browns that are anchored with some of those really beautiful burgundies. This is the last palette in the countdown. This is Huetopian Dream from Pat McGrath. I want to do an honorary mention in this video. This is the eyeshadow palette I have on my eyes today. This is one of Natasha Denona's really big palettes, and I purposely included this in the countdown because this is the palette that I have in my collection that also sort of speaks to the earthy tones, the greens, the browns that you typically see in fall as well. So here we have the green brown palette from Natasha Denona. Now I have it on my eyes today. You can see how beautiful you can get, just an everyday friendly, gorgeous look with this palette too, but you also have those pops of greens and blues and a little bit of this warmth over here. This is just a gorgeous palette, and I actually do think if you have it in your collection already, it's a great one to pull out for fall. This is also a palette, kind of like a little bit of a helpful tip here. This is a palette you can get on her BOGO for Boxing Day, I believe, or maybe it's Black Friday. Black Friday, scratch that. Black Friday. Black Friday, you can get this palette as well as her other Monster 28 pan palette, the blue purple palette, for buy one get one. So do keep that in mind if you are wanting this one. I see it every year on her sale day. But this is a palette, you guys, that is absolutely gorgeous. The versatility in here is stunning, and rightfully so. I mean, this is a pricey palette, but I do see fall in this as well. I basically see like our planet in this palette. It sounds so cheesy, but I see like greens, I see those gorgeous leaves color over here, I see the blue and the water, I see some really nice pinks. This is a gorgeous palette you can use to create stunning looks. All of the shades here are super complementary, and I don't know, I just really love this palette. It doesn't get a ton of hype because I think it's a pricier one from her, rightfully so. Every single shade in here is great. There is no duds in here. Thank goodness. The price point is high, so you got to make sure you're investing properly. This is the honorable mention. I had to include it in the video today because it's just so beautiful and reminds me of gorgeous earthy tones that I always see in the fall. What do you guys think of the fall palettes I picked for this season? Do let me know your thoughts down below. I wanted to do a little bit of an unconventional way of approaching fall because sometimes all people see are orange palettes, and I don't actually wear a ton of orange, so I wanted to really expand the inspiration and pick some really beautiful, versatile palettes. Until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys!